So the way that I write game reviews is that I like to take notes while I'm playing the game. Pen and paper, simple things I like, things that are bad, just general thoughts. Most of the time, my notes total to about 4 to 7 pages. For Harry Potter, it was like 6, and for Atomic Heart, it was about 4. You should go watch those reviews, they're pretty good. So here I was finishing Resident Evil, and I saw that I only had 2 pages of notes, 2.5 after I compiled all my thoughts together. At first, I thought I missed some stuff, but after reviewing my notes, I realized there was only one reason why the notes were so short, and it went something like this.
Dory, are you okay? Oh, that's good.
Yeah, this game is extremely good. This review will contain light spoilers if you have not played the original Resident Evil 4, like gameplay mechanics and some boss footage, but nothing that will spoil the game for you. Enjoy the review and subscribe. So, this game shows up, hoping to fill some very big shoes. And honestly, I think it might exceed it in certain aspects. You play as Leon S. Kennedy, an agent of the US government, and are tasked with going to save the president's daughter from a random village in rural Spain. This is the same Leon that is from Resident Evil 2, so in case you're wondering, there you go. Of course, things go awry and you have to deal with a lot more than what you bargained for, but details about that in the world and story review section. For now, we can focus on gameplay. And honestly, it's fantastic. This game is a third-person survival horror game with a bit more action than your typical survival horror game, so just keep that in mind. The general loop, progression, gameplay, whatever you want to call it, is that you're going through levels, fighting off bad guys with various tools in your arsenal that you expand as you explore the world, looking for treasures and solving puzzles. Now, that may sound generic, but honestly, this game is very unique in its gameplay and feel. Shooting feels fantastic, and the game really rewards accuracy, playing smart, and just overall getting better as you progress through the game. If you shoot an enemy in the head or legs, for example, you can set up a roundhouse kick or suplex to knock them down, doing more damage as well as conserving your ammo and sometimes knocking down multiple enemies at once. But the more enemies there are, the riskier it is to do a move like that, so you need to figure out a way to take them all out in one go or one at a time. The choice is yours, but like I said, playing smart helps you conserve your ammo, which is somewhat limited. One of the primary aspects of a survival horror game is that you have limited resources in all aspects: healing, armor, ammunition, etc. So, in order to circumvent the problem of running out, you need to fight smart and get a better return on resources than what you put into a fight. And this game is no different. It's one man versus an army, so you gotta be careful. Besides guns, you also have grenades and a knife. The grenades function like you would expect, taking out multiple enemies at once with a good amount of damage or stunning them with a flash grenade. And if you're playing smart, you can have a stock up of them. So I got to a boss, I had like 50 grenades and just unloaded on them. It was so goofy, but it was a lot of fun and I felt rewarded. The knife system is revamped here from the old game, and I think it's kind of necessary because safe to say, the old one was very broken. You could stun lock enemies, bosses included, and would never break, so you could always use it, and it made conserving ammo a lot easier. It wasn't a bad system, but they had to redo it here to make it a more balanced experience overall. So what they do here, instead of an unlimited knife, you have an upgradable knife that does not start out the best, but with upgrades you can make it better. You can upgrade the knife to have better durability as well as attack damage, making it a force to be reckoned with. However, it still has a durability meter, so you're not able to spam it in an effort to conserve ammo. Again, you gotta be smart with it. Now, some of you may think that's dumb, and at first, I agreed. Honestly, I was annoyed they changed up the knife system to what seemed like the worst experience. However, my annoyances were quickly dashed because they added a parry to this game. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. The knife can now parry attacks, and like, it's not just things that are thrown at you. That was in the last game and it was fun then, but now
nice.
You can parry almost any melee attack that's coming your way, and if you get a perfect parry, you get to stumble the enemy for a free melee attack. The parry system is incredible and feels really good. Nailing that perfect parry feels rewarding and gives you some breathing room to melee, run around, etc. Now, listen, I know the parry system is not everybody's cup of tea, but for me, I really enjoy a nice, concise parry system. And the fact that it's even in this game and so well done, it's just chef's kiss. It's so much fun to do. It took me a little bit to get, honestly, but once I did, it was just, so good. Alright, okay, so in addition to the parry system, the game also allows you to finish enemies on the ground with your knife and sneak attack enemies with it as well. More of the sneak attack in a bit. All of these actions remove some health from your knife's durability. Once it's depleted, the knife will break and you lose access to all those functions until you repair it. So, like I said before, and has been a recurring theme for this review so far, play smart. You definitely don't want to get caught without a knife. They also introduced a crafting system in this game that is very in line with Resident Evil 8. Collect gunpowder and resources and you can craft what you need, whether that's ammo, health items, or explosives. And honestly, I actually like this method of resource collection. Enemies still drop ammo and stuff, but now I have an added element of saving my resources up to create things that I would like to use, whether that's handgun ammo, shotgun ammo, grenades, whatever I needed, I could make it if I saved my resources correctly. It added a little bit of a customization option when it comes to your resources. If I'm using this gun a lot, I will use the resources to make ammo for that gun. It was nice, and it didn't force me to go down a certain path just because I had more ammo for a certain gun. They also added a stealth system. Crouch to avoid detection from enemies who have their back turned to you, and you can get a free stealth kill with your knife. Personally, I didn't really use this system too much because it took off a good chunk of my knife's durability. I'd rather save it for parrying and other stuff. But it did have its uses, and if that's your playstyle, have at it. Now, aside from combat, you're also exploring the world to solve puzzles, complete your quests, and look for treasure. And all those systems are revamped here in this game as well. I was actually surprised to see that the devs took concepts from the original game and enhanced them to make them more enjoyable for both old and new fans of Resident Evil. They could have very easily just taken what was already there and just slapped the new texture on it and said, yeah, we're good. Because it was fun then, it worked, and they didn't have to go through this entire process of making something new. But they did. Puzzles are fun and not too difficult. The game is not a puzzle game, but they do have a sprinkling of interesting and unique puzzles spread throughout the world. So you gotta use that noggin of yours from time to time. Puzzles are good and nicely spread out so you don't get tired of them. Sometimes after you complete the puzzles, you get treasure. Or you can get treasure from containers, or from defeating enemies, or from completing requests. Basically, you get a lot of treasure in this game, just like the original. The difference here is that there's a way to customize the treasure you get. You can give it a little razzle dazzle, if you will. A lot of the treasure you find has gemstone slots, and when you find gemstones, you can slot them in for various bonuses. 5 colors gives you double the money, 2 colors gives you 1.6, all 1 color gets you like 1.5. They have a list, you can check it out, but all in all, it's a cool way to build out the treasure system. Along with this, you can also complete requests from the merchant to net you spinos, which are used in a secondary shop. The requests are fun, and you have to go around to the world either backtracking to spots you've been before or looking at spots you're going to go to, from blue medallions, some rats, some enemies you have to fight, etc. And they're nice ways to get you to explore the world. Small side note, I was addicted to the shooting gallery that's still in this game. It's revamped to make it more addicting, so I definitely recommend trying it out. You might be stuck there for about an hour or two. I know I was. You are rewarded for exploration in this game, so be sure you do that. Go explore, fight enemies, look for treasure, it's all part of the experience. Now, a big part of the original RE4 is the Ashley sections. Ashley will follow you around and you have to be responsible for making sure she's safe. Ashley's system, as I like to call it, was not the best in the original RE4. She would get caught and her AI was not the best, to where she would sometimes get in the way and die from my shots, which can happen here too, but it's a little more rare. Here, in line with the rest of the game, the Ashley system is revamped. Gone are the days of having to use health items on her. Just protect her and she does a good job of following you as well as avoiding your bullets and enemies. It's intuitive and just works. Now, the last thing I want to talk about in the gameplay section are the bosses. Don't worry, I won't go too in depth to avoid spoilers. The bosses in this game are very fun to fight. Part of the reason is that the inclusion of all these new systems like the parry, the crafting system, really allows you to play the boss fights how you want to play, and the tighter controls creates a better experience running around the arena shooting at the boss. The other part, and this is mostly for people who've played the original, is that every single boss has something new. If you're someone who played the original, the game adds something different to the boss that was not in the original, and it's great. Some fights are completely different and you won't know what to expect. Great experience fighting any and all the bosses here. I think fans of the original will love the changes and newcomers will enjoy the challenge that they provide. A small side note about the challenge in this game, I played on standard mode, and while initially I did have a bit of a hard time playing through the game, after a bit of time I was beasting on the enemies without breaking a sweat. Later parts of the game were still hard, but not as difficult as it could have been. If you're an RE4 fan and have played through the original recently, play through this game on hardcore mode. If none of those prerequisites apply to you, standard is perfect. Overall, this game plays extremely well. What about the world and story? Do they hold up? I want to get this out of the way first because honestly, I have very little to say about it except for the fact that it's perfect. The look of this game is incredible and it runs extremely well. The RE engine they used to build this game is putting in work. Gameplay was smooth, cutscenes were excellent, physics worked great. The whole experience was awesome just because it worked. It was nearly perfect aside from a few hiccups here and there, and even then, it was so few and far between, I don't even remember them. I just have in my notes, let's see here. rare graphical hiccup, and I don't even know what I was talking about, so there's that. Now, besides the look, the writing is the next big thing you'll notice. The game tells a nice, grounded survival horror story for anyone who's new to the world of Resident Evil. For fans who played the original, the game does do the thing where they tone down on the goofiness that you've come to know and love. Characters are more menacing, dialogue isn't as campy, and the residents are more evil.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Alright. I had to get one in there. Back to the writing. Fans of the campiness may be disappointed to hear that it's toned down, but honestly, I think it works. The story feels more grounded, but still has good humor from the writing. Leon is a fun character to play as, and he still makes the occasional quip at big moments. The writers did a good job of building him out as an action hero, as well as someone with a lot of heart, following through on his journey from the RE2 remake. He's a character that lived through the experience, and it does affect him as he journeys to save Ashley. It's well done and made me like Leon even more. Ashley is also given some good character moments as well. She grows and changes through the story. It's great to see the writers building out these characters a lot more. It helps me care about them and want to see the story through to the end. All these changes amount to a fun, well-built, cohesive story. And while the amount of goofiness/campiness is turned down, it's still in here and is more tastefully done. Leon makes his quips, but the timing is better. Ashley still bumbles around, but it's not annoying like the original. The set pieces are still silly at times, but as an homage to the original content, the game does an excellent job of keeping them in here while adapting them to the new theme. I do think that there's still some goofy stuff in here if you think about it. Like, okay, there's a gate you open up at the beginning of the game. Once you open it, a severed head falls off the top of it. You look up and you see that there are 5 to 6 heads staked on top of this gate. In reality, that's menacing and horrifying, right? But in my head, after giving it some thought, I kind of just giggled at the idea. I'm imagining these zombies just like talking and decorating while they commit these gruesome acts of violence. Like, all right, that's that. Let's go ahead and throw this out. Wait. Dude, hang on. You know what'd be sick? And then they just proceed to decorate the village with its used body parts. Gruesome, yet goofy if you really think about the process. The attention to detail is also very good. It's the little things that the devs did not have to put in here, but if you look closely, can see that they are everywhere. Things like how Leon holds his gun and when he's close to a wall, how Ashley ducks under attacks, characters' reactions to being near fire. These types of details are all over the game, and while they don't enhance the game in any major way, I think it shows how much the devs really cared about this project. All of this to say is that I had an amazing time with the story here. A lot of the key bits are still the same, and the ones that they did change make sense and enhance the story to be a bit better in my opinion. Overall, the original Resident Evil 4 got it right the first time. The devs created a world that was fun to explore and be in. This time around, however, the devs managed to capture that same exact wanderlust as I played through this game. Heck, there were times that I think this game does the world and storytelling and gameplay even better than the original. I can't deny what the devs achieved here. It is a fantastic accomplishment and it needs to be pointed out. I mentioned earlier that my notes for this game were really short, and that isn't meant to be indicative of a game being good or bad. In reality, I was just having way too much fun with this game. I binged this game and loved every single second of it. From gunplay to exploration to learning about the world and the characters, it was a fresh, modern take on an already perfected formula. I bought this game right as it came out and sped through it, totaling to about 22 hours within like 4 days. So yeah, I like this game a lot. I think the only other games I've done this with were Elden Ring and Outer Wilds, both of which are in my top games list. I really struggled to find things that were negative about this game. And at the end of the day, I just couldn't think of any. And that's good, like really good. The fact that I could not think of a single thing that was bad about the game really puts into perspective what games are capable of when proper effort is put behind them. The team at Capcom have built out a flawless experience that encapsulates the feel of the original for anyone who has not played it. And for those of us that have, they expand on it, bringing us this masterpiece of a game that any fans of the series will love. If you're looking for a 15 to 24 hour single player story with excellent gameplay, lots of exploration, fun writing, this game is for you. I'm giving the Resident Evil 4 Remake a 10 out of 10, an experience that earns a spot as a resident of the 2023's Game of the Year contender. Any less would be pure evil. I also think that this game is worth buying at full price. A ton of content, a solid game with little to no bugs, an all-around amazing experience. Capcom looks like it's on the rise with this and Street Fighter 6 on the horizon. I am very excited to see what they do next. It's not up to me, but I mean if it was, maybe Monster Hunter World 2? I hope so. You're taking bribes, Capcom, I got you. Alright, well, I'm gonna go play more Resident Evil. I hope you enjoyed the review. Subscribe to see more. Also check out my other reviews. Thanks for watching.